Hey there, geographers, it's Angela here with another overview for this week's module. Now, this week's module actually takes 2 weeks. Most importantly, you're going to also notice that this module is different than other modules we've come across. Not only is it 2 weeks long, but it also has a lab that's a little bit different than what we've done before. The other nice thing about this module is that one activity builds upon another. So, for example, you're in the first week of this module, you'll be working on a discussion that actually prepares you and sets you up for the lab activity. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. What are we talking about in these 2 weeks? We're learning about the importance of the ozone. What is it? Why is it so helpful and harmful? We learn about this helpful and harmful ozone, but how this ozone also protects us as well. We learn about what it is, how it protects us, and about this chemical that humans created called chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs. Then, how as humans we've decided to stop using this chemical once we figured out that it destroyed the ozone, and how the ozone has started to help heal itself. So, as I've said before, this module is a little bit different. We do not have a pre-lab discover survey. We do, however, still have our explore and learn section where there's a video where I explain this lab and give a lecture on the ozone. There also is this helpful resource website called climatechangereconsidered.org. I give you this website to give you an idea of a credible resource. I also have provided additional slides here for you to learn about the ozone. We have a discussion that's due on the 16th. We have a check-in that's due as well. So you can let me know how you're feeling about the content. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have our ozone brief lab activity that's due on the 23rd. Let's go ahead and get started on what we're really working on initially. Well, in our discussion, we're going to learn about not only the ozone, but it's also going to prepare us for the lab activity. The work and preparation you do this week will make your lab activity go smoothly. The discussion for this module is research. You're doing the research to prepare for your lab activity. Well, what am I researching? You're wondering. Well, here is your scenario. You are the chief scientific officer to President Biden and advise him on the effects of science and technology on domestic and international affairs. He asks you this question: does the ozone hole cause global warming? And you have to prepare a short briefing for him. As you prepare to answer this question, you conduct research. This discussion serves as a step in your research process. So, what will you be doing for this discussion? You're going to find two reliable sources of information that you would feel comfortable using for this briefing paper. Then you're also going to find two unreliable sources that would not be appropriate. You'll share these articles with the discussion and in the discussion and cite and reference them in APA format. If you do not cite within the discussion and provide references at the end for a bibliography, you will earn an incomplete grade for this discussion. Make sure to explain why the first two articles are reliable and why you chose them. Also explain why you chose two unreliable resources. As you think about these articles, discuss the following issues in your discussion. Can this report be biased? But can it also be reliable? Think about the agenda of some of the research you're looking at and wonder, is it transparent as well? What is the reputation of the source? How accountable is the source? Who's paying for this? And are all ads bad? This discussion post must also contain citations when you reference your articles. This discussion should also provide a reference to each of the 4 articles you choose in a bibliography and APA format. Your initial discussion post should be between 250 and 350 words, and then you have 3 replies to classmates. You can submit your initial post and responses in written, audio, or video format. So let's go ahead and jump to this will be the resource website that you're looking at that's helping you out. Here is the check-in. And lastly, we have our lab activity. Here is the video lecture and directions for this. Let's go ahead and click on the lab link. And you'll notice that this follows a lot of what the discussion has said. Like I said, your discussion is helping prepare you for this lab. So you're going to see a lot of information that's repeated. The only difference is that the lab activity is actually going to be the brief or the paper, the ultimate presentation that you are giving to the president. So this lab will include figures, images, maps, graphs, charts, any sort of visualization that will help explain to the president what your conclusion is. Does the ozone hole cause global warming? In here, I've also included helpful hints on when you add these images, maps, or graphs, how to put a figure underneath it to explain the image that you're using. I've included the parts of a figure and also to make sure that when you need help, you raise your hand and you let me know. So again, you'll notice that the steps included in this lab activity are background research. The background research you're doing in your discussion in the first week. And then for the lab, you will be bringing all of that information together in a paper presentation, including what you said in the discussion, using figures, graphs, maps, any sort of visualizations to help support what you're trying to explain to the president and to make sure you have an annotated bibliography in APA format. As always, make sure to let me know when you need absolutely anything. I hope you have a great 2-week module.